Hello, hello. Good morning, everyone. I'm just going to do a quick tech check. Technology check. Here we go. Let's see. Am I showing up live? Okay. Hang with me. Hang with me. Here we go. All right. Perfect. Gotta check the technology. All right. One time I did a whole live and it never aired and it got lost and the replay wasn't there and it was kind of a bummer. So now I check every time to make sure. Well, hello, beautiful beings. Thank you for being here with me this morning. I just wanted to talk about this topic of manifesting because I see a lot of teachings about it out there, and I wanted to give you my understanding of it. I can remember when I, first kind of woke up and started working with this law of attraction thing. And I remember watching The Secret and trying the techniques and whatever, and setting the intentions and doing the vision boards and having, I worked a lot with my thoughts, and then I understood that it's also about emotion. So I worked a lot with my emotion and what I was feeling, so I could, vibrate out what the thing is that I wanted to attract and all this stuff. And, some things worked and some things didn't. The thing that I remember doing was trying really, really hard. And I would actually kind of force my manifestations. And what I've come to understand is that that is a waste of time and energy. And the thing that you really want to be working on, if you're going to be in action mode, if you're going to be doing, if you're going to be working with this manifesting thing, the place where you really want to have your focus is on your alignments. So what do I mean by that? So in my way of living, I want to live my soul purpose. I want to live according to my highest good. I want to do things and be completely aligned to my soul. So every expression in my life, everything that I do with my business, everything that I do with my personal life, how I spend my time, I want all of that to be aligned to my soul mission, to my purpose for being on this planet. Because for me, that's what brings me the most fulfillment, right? So if that is my goal, then what I want to do is everything I can to get myself in that aligned position. And from that place, the manifestations that are aligned for me, that are meant for me, that are for my highest good, easily flow in. And then it's so much easier. It's so much easier to receive. It's so much easier, there's not as much efforting and certainly not as much forcing of the manifestations. So certainly a part of all of this equation is absolutely, good morning, Carrie, is absolutely to focus on your thoughts, focus on your emotions, focus on your intentions, have all of that in place. And then beyond that, surrender to your highest alignments. Because what I see is if it's not truly aligned for you, you can manifest it. It's what I call the forced manifesting. You can manifest it. Hey, Candace. But it's not as sustainable. In the end, it's not as fulfilling. And so it's kind of like, why even waste your time? And that's the point that I've gotten to for me. You might want to still be, playing with the manifesting thing and having fun with it. And, there's nothing wrong with that. Do the law of attraction and all of that. There's nothing wrong with that. What I'm offering is a kind of, I don't want this to sound egotistical. It's kind of like a higher way, because you're doing it according to your soul mission, your soul alignments. And so it's kind of like the highest form of manifesting, where you're surrendered to the things that are truly not for your best interest, that don't really serve you. You let those go, release those, and be surrendered to what truly is meant for you. And for me, that has been so freeing, because sometimes my mind or maybe my ego thinks that I want a certain thing or a certain experience, but it's not truly going to be fulfilling in the long run. It's not truly going to sustain me. And so, I've kind of gotten to the point where if it's not going to sustain me, if it's not for my highest alignment, my highest good, if it's not fulfilling to my heart, to my soul, I don't even really want to bother with it anymore. So I do this thing every once in a while where I surrender anything that is not for my highest alignments. And inevitably what happens is things are released from my life. And I always ask that this happen with ease and grace, because I'm not a big fan of the jolting experiences. I've had those, and they're not quite so great, so fun. So for me, I like to ask for ease and grace, so that the things that are being released from my life, that it's just a gentle flow out. And so I've been doing that consistently, and I have to tell you, things continually get better and better and easier and easier. Now, the thing, Stephanie, how do you know the difference between what? Give me a little more information in your question, please. The thing that goes along with this is doing the shadow work, doing the inner child healing. Because if you want to be living in your highest alignments, then all that stuff that doesn't serve has to go. The density has to leave from your being. And that's the part that takes time. And that's the part where people sometimes give up. That's the part where our impatience kicks in. And so, I've been doing this for 12 and a half years. And finally, this past year, things have started to click in a way where there's so much ease for me. And it's also because I have let go of those ideas of things I thought I wanted, or things that I thought I should, be receiving or creating, or, whatever. Just like surrendering all of that and saying, you know what? When it happens, it happens. If it's aligned for me, it happens. If it's not aligned for me, maybe I don't experience that this lifetime, and that's totally okay. Okay, so Stephanie's asking, how do we know the difference, our highest alignments and ego-driven? Okay, great question. So how do we know the difference between our ego-driven manifestations and our highest alignments? This is like a muscle that you have to develop, Stephanie and everyone else, because this is a really great question. You don't always know at first, because if you're still working with a lot of density, or if there's still a lot of shadow for you to find your wholeness within, still a lot of integration for you to go through, it's not always clear. The reason it's clear for me is because of how much of that inner work that I have done to, clear that stuff out from my being. So it's kind of like a, you try and see kind of thing. So you have a manifestation that you desire. You check in with your heart and ask, is this a true desire? Is this an ego desire? Is this something that is for my highest alignments? And I just set the intention. If it's an ego desire that's not for my highest alignments, I surrender it. If it's an ego desire that is for my highest alignments, then I gladly receive it. So you set the intention to manifest those things that are for your highest alignments, and to let go of those things that are not. And you don't always necessarily know if it's ego-driven or not. But here's the thing, some ego-driven manifestations might be for your highest alignments. And so it's not always necessarily the most important thing to know if it's from ego, if it's from your soul, if it's from your heart. The thing to know is that you want to live your life from your highest alignments. That's the most important intention. And then everything else can fall away. So if it's ego or not ego, it kind of even doesn't really matter. And also the thing about ego is that it can serve your highest alignment. So what I do with my ego is, I hear a lot about, getting rid of the ego and all of that. And I call BS on that. That's nonsense. You're human. You have an ego. It's here to work with you. So what you can do is you put it in service to your heart, put it in service to your mission, put it in service to your soul. And then sometimes those ego desires are for your highest alignments because you've you've given it its role, you've given it its place. The ego is meant to have a place. And a lot of people, want to judge the ego as bad or wrong. It just depends on how you work with it or not. So when you ask your ego to be in service for something greater, then it can really be part of your manifesting of what's in your highest alignments. So does anyone else have any questions about manifesting this thing that I'm calling alignment? Have I explained it clearly? Do you have any questions? Feel free to type those in the comments below. I wanted to offer this to you guys because I see a lot of teachers talking about this, and granted, I've never taken their courses and whatever, so I don't know what they're saying behind the closed doors, but I never hear people talking about manifesting what's aligned for you. It's always like, whatever you want to manifest, I'll teach you how to do it faster, better, easier, whatever. But the thing that gives you that true ease of manifesting and receiving is putting yourself in that aligned position. And putting yourself in that aligned position does take work, and it does take some time. And I think people don't really like to talk about that because, we want everything to be fast. We want everything to be easy. And, I can remember the times when I was in other realms and I had a thought and instantly there it was. That's how easy it was. And I got to this planet and I was like, what is this? Why is this so thick and hard? And why does it take so long? And this is not, this is not how I know it could be. Carrie, what's your question? What do you mean? Like trusting? Candace asks, can you give an example of how you do your highest alignment manifestation? Yeah, for me, okay, so there are a couple pieces of that formula. For me, it starts with my intention that, as I explained earlier, Candace, if you joined late, you can go back and watch the beginning of the video. It's there as well. I make that intention that I am receiving those things that are for my highest alignments, according to my soul mission, according to my heart's desires. And then I work with my thoughts. So it's always, the positive thought, transmuting anything that, might be a thought about lack or a thought about I'm not worthy or, those kinds of things. And, observing my thoughts and catching myself if I'm off, if I'm thinking something that's not going to serve my best interests. Then I work with my emotions. So getting myself in that feeling state of, feeling the energy of this happening for me or me receiving this. And it's not just that with the emotions. It's also allowing myself to truly feel what I feel, because that's a really important piece. Sometimes we push away the parts that aren't, nice to feel. If we are feeling grief or anger, some of those emotions that, some of us don't really like to feel. Part of manifesting with your alignments is allowing yourself to feel the full range of emotions that you have. So that's really important. We are human. We're emotional beings. We have emotional bodies. And the fuller the expression and feeling of our emotional bodies is, the more we can put ourselves in that position of alignment. So Candace, I hope that makes sense. You can ask another question if I'm not clear about that. And then that last piece, I said the intentions, thoughts, emotions. Yeah, so that's it. So then it's, for me now, it's not even necessarily a specific thought of what I want. It's bring me what is in my highest alignments. And I'll work with my receiving body so that I can receive it. So these days lately, it hasn't even been, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to experience this. It's bring me what's in my highest alignments. Because you guys know I'm here to serve. You know that I have, the purest intentions in my heart. So whatever is aligned to that, I'd like to receive that. Now, I do have some things that I want, like I really, really want to go on a vacation. And I think I'm probably going to wait till the winter because that's, you know, when I really want to get out of here. I want to go somewhere warm because I like the warmth. And right now it's warm here, so why would I want to leave? Right? So I do have things like that. You know, I want a vacation, or I want to expand membership within the Creation Temple, you know, things like that. But the reason I want those things is so that I can be more in my flow, more in my alignment, more in my soul mission and service. So all of the things that I want go back to my soul mission and my service. And again, I'm not saying, you know, an ego desire is bad. I'm not saying that at all. You know, like, I would love to have a Tesla car. That's probably more of an ego desire. Is that like the highest alignment for me? I don't know. I haven't received it yet, so maybe it's not. Maybe it's not for right now. Maybe it is for another time. And that's the thing. I surrender it. If I was meant to have it right now, I would. I don't have it right now, so I let it go. I surrender it. And if it's meant to be at some point, then, you know, my Tesla and I meet up. So it's that, also that non-attachment piece, that piece about not being attached. And Candace, this is still part of the formula. When you do set out that intention and you do put forth the desire and you do your shadow work and heal your inner child and all of those good things, you also surrender. And you let it go. You say, if this is what is truly meant for me, I will receive it when it's the right time, and I let it go. I remember having conversations. Yes, Candace, you still put the intention out there. And once you put the intention out there, you take any inspired action that you're guided to take around it, and you surrender and let it go. Like right now, I'm, you know, my retreat, the next retreat is coming up October 19th through 22nd here in Sedona. And the theme is Unlock Your Power. And registration is open. I opened registration, and I don't know where the retreat is going to be held yet. And for me, this is like a huge step in faith and trust, because I've been working on finding a space. It just hasn't lined up. And I said, you know what? I'm going to open registration. And then, you know, the place is going to have to show up, because the universe knows I'm serious about this. The universe knows I'm moving forward. So my team, the universe, however you want to look at it, they're going to have to work with me to provide the space for it, because I'm moving ahead. Even though the energy and the physicality hasn't met up with my intentions yet, I'm just going to keep moving forward. And then it has to move up, because I know this is aligned. I know I'm supposed to lead this retreat in October, and I've asked about the dates over and over, and I've thought about changing the dates. And, you know, anyway, long story. I know this is aligned for me. I know this is what I'm meant to do, and that people are going to show up for this. And so I'm moving forward with that faith and trust and patience. I'm being patient. Like, okay, the space hasn't revealed itself yet. I'm going to sit back then and let it come to me, because I've taken the inspired action. I've tried to find the place. It hasn't met with me yet. So I'm just going to relax and let it happen. And so that surrender piece is a really, really important piece. Again, that forced manifesting, you can do it, and it can work, right? You can force your manifestations, but the time, the energy, the effort that it takes, if something's not truly aligned for you and you force it anyway, it's, you know, you're wasting your time and energy. And you might as well just surrender to what is aligned for you. Okay. Carrie, did you have a question that I missed? Trust in the flow. I think that I answered your question, but I'm not sure. If you have another question, Carrie, just type it in the comments. Thank you for joining me. I really hope that this is helpful for you. Again, it's not something that I see, yay, Tina! It's not something that I see a lot of people talking about, because aligning yourself does take some time. It does take that inner work, and that's the piece that a lot of people don't really want to go into. They don't necessarily want to do that inner work. They just want to have the manifestation already. And, you know, like I said, I've been at this for 12 and a half years, very diligently, very committed, very disciplined. And that's why it is happening for me the way it's happening right now, because I'm aligned to this timing. I'm aligned for things to open and expand for me in a big way right now. That is aligned for me. And I've worked to get myself in this position so that when this time came, I'd be ready and I'd be open to receive what's coming. And I knew 12 years ago when I first woke up, I knew this would be happening. I thought, like a year or two from now, the most. And that was, 12 years ago. But here I am 12 and a half years later, where it's finally really unfolding and expanding in a much bigger way. And you know what? For my journey, I had to build that foundation. I had to demonstrate my commitment and discipline. And that's for me. And the thing I want to encourage you guys with is that we can't compare ourselves to anyone else. I think a lot of people talk about comparison despair. When you look at someone else and you see where they are and they're like, so much further ahead than you, or they've manifested all these amazing things, and you look at them and you're like, well, why is it not happening for me? Well, there's a lot of reasons why it might not be happening for you. It might not be in your highest alignments. Your soul might be offering you some protection within this. It might not be your time. You may need to clear out more density within yourself. You may need to build a stronger foundation. You may need to demonstrate to yourself that you are willing to do the inner work and have the commitment and the discipline. It may just not be your time, like it might not be aligned for this moment. It may be aligned for you, but maybe it's a year from now, or maybe it's, 2 months from now. And we don't know. That's the thing about the alignment thing, is that we don't know when the alignment happens. We can't predict. We can't say when. And I remember talking to my mentor about this years ago. And I would be so frustrated. I'm like, when is it going to happen? And he would say, I don't know. And I'm like, can't you give me something? I just have to slog along on this journey until it finally opens up for me. And it's kind of like, yeah, you have to keep putting one foot in front of the other. You have to keep going. And I would, see all the teachings about the law of attraction and manifesting, and I would do all the right things. I'd get my thoughts and my emotions in order and got the vision board ready and, all this stuff. And it wasn't happening. And I was like, WTF, universe. And that's the thing too. I do want to mention this with the manifesting thing, is that I see a lot of people do this, externalizing their power, putting it all in the universe, like it's all up to the universe. And that is not true. Yes, divine timing is so important, Demetrius. Thank you. It's not all about the universe. Yes, you are in co-creation with the universe and co-creation with many other things beyond the universe, my friends. But what is important is that empowerment within you. Taking responsibility for yourself, taking responsibility for your path, taking back the power, reclaiming your power for yourself. And the journey that some of you guys know about with me, where feeling my anger, integrating anger, and having that being very empowering for me, that was huge. And that's the thing that thank you, Demetrius, for sharing this. That's the thing that I was sharing with being able to experience all of your emotions. I didn't truly know anger. I wasn't integrated with anger. I didn't think it was necessary for me because, I'm this person of love and light, blah, blah, blah. Like maybe I don't actually, maybe I've transcended anger, whatever. So funny. I'm human, of course. Anger is within the repertoire of the human emotional experience. So once I integrated my anger, things really opened up for me. And I was much more integrated and merged with my power as well. So all of these little things, there's so many little things along this journey of manifesting. And if you miss just one of them, things might not flow the way you want. So I'll try to do a quick recap here because there's a lot that I've been saying. So your intentions, to be flowing with your highest alignments, to be aligned to your soul mission, to your heart's desires, to your soul purpose. And from there, observing your thoughts. If you are having negative thoughts, change them. Turn it into something positive. The emotional body, allowing yourself to experience your emotions. And when you are like specifically focused with manifesting, like if you sit down or do a vision board or something like that, putting yourself in that emotional state of the vibration that matches what you are manifesting. So if I want my Tesla, for example, I would feel, how does it feel to be driving my Tesla down the roads of Sedona, or wherever I go? How does it feel to be behind the wheel? And just like the excitement and the bliss and the joy, like I'm going to put myself in that emotional state if I really, really want to manifest a Tesla, right? Okay, so intentions, thoughts, emotions, and then surrender. Letting go of your attachments, releasing what no longer serves you, doing the inner work, healing your inner child, addressing the shadow, releasing and transmuting the density that's in your being right now. Allowing all of that to be surrendered, surrendering people in your life that don't serve you anymore, surrendering environments, releasing, letting go, not being attached to what you are trying to create, not being attached to what you're manifesting. In my business, I stopped doing goals like, I want to make this much money a month, or I want to have this many clients a week, or whatever. I stopped all of that. I just released it. I was like, you know what? Whatever's aligned for me. I don't care anymore. Like, whatever's for my highest alignments. And with that surrender, then the things that are meant to flow in. The things that aren't, don't. And my life is so much easier for it. There's so much less stress and forcing and trying to make things happen, and I'm happier. Like, yeah, I might be making less money than I could be, but my heart's happy, my soul's fulfilled, and for me, that's more important than money. So, you have to know where you are and what you want and what your true heart's desires are. For me, my true heart's desires don't start with money in my business. So when I'm fulfilled at that soul level, that's what's more important. And yeah, money is important, and I receive it, and it's great, and it's valuable to grow my business and expand and all of that, and it's wonderful, and money's great, but it's not the first thing, and I'm not attached, and that's the key. So I hope this was helpful for you. And if you're watching the replay, if you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to ask any questions that you have about this. I think I did a pretty good job of summarizing everything. And then remember, there are those, little pieces that when you are manifesting something, if there's something within your being that's not aligned to that manifestation, assuming the manifestation is for your highest alignments, if there's still something within you that's not aligned, then you have to do that work to release what's no longer serving you, so that thing that is aligned for you can come in, because sometimes we block ourselves by holding on to things that don't serve us anymore. Okay. Carrie, what are you going to manifest? The full moon tomorrow. Oh, man. Joseph, it doesn't work like that. We're the ones that are in power because we've taken human form. We're here to bring our love and light codes here to this planet. So something external like that, if we want the heavens to save us or whatever, that's not how it works. We're the ones that are here to make the changes. And that's what we're doing in the Creation Temple. So you can see I have the little banner here on the video, creationtemple.com. If you want more support in your life for aligning yourself to your soul purpose, for being able to do your inner work, for healing your child, we're doing all of that in the Creation Temple. The Master Creators and I meet once every week. And we get down to business every week, and we experience transformation, expansion. People are manifesting things that are in their alignments, and it's a beautiful, beautiful experience. So if you want that support, you can come join us in the Creation Temple. I apologize, I don't have any scholarships open right now. If you'd like to be on a waiting list, you can. Right now, there are spots, though, for full-paying members. So if you'd like to join us, come on over to creationtemple.com and get the support that you need. Lots of love to you guys. I will see you in the next video. Mwah.